Guide was murdered.
An LGBTQ activist residing in Kenya has just been mutilated and his body was found dipped in a metal box. This had caused outrage all over the globe and different LGBTQ activists shouting, say his name. We've had different episodes where LGBTQ gay men have been murdered in different cases, and we end up shouting, say their name, David, say their name, Edwin, so on and so forth. The answers and the questions now today is, what is the solution to all this murders, killing, and the death of LGBT, especially gay men in Africa being murdered? And you are watching Breaking News. Wahala Ana remain Chimereze Henry and Honaya. With me is Kelechi Achafo Marvelous. So, Mr. Kelechi, now you've heard about this story. You sure we had a discussion about Edwin. First and foremost, let's just give a brief background about Edwin. What do you have to say about Edwin and his activism?
Yeah, Edwin and activism. Edwin has been doing a fantastic work that's in Kenya. So his activism has been very, very, what's the word, down to the community. You know, he had this, the main story is that he had this guy by his side as his lover, but they said allegedly the guy also, this same guy, his lover, also had a girlfriend. So based on, it became like a jealousy affair, like jealousy lover affair, lots of patch and patch story here. And what happened is that at the end of the day, the killer of Edwin was actually his lover, so-called lover that he went everywhere with, shopped with, traveled the world, that he was busy carrying this lover, and both sisters was the one who murdered him. So that was like the backstory that we're getting as of now. He has confessed to murdering Edwin.
Police in Eldoret are trailing two other suspects in the murder of slain LGBTQ advocate Edwin Chiloba. Langas OCPD John Odhiambo says the police are pursuing an angle of a love triangle after the main suspect, Jackton Odhiambo, confessed to colluding with two other friends in executing the murder of the late fashion designer. Police told Citizen TV that the two were living together in the apartment where Chiloba met his untimely death.
How does one go from loving a person to murder? How does this? We've seen so many stories like this in Africa. Are there red flags in a relationship that shows this person is likely to murder his or her partner? And what are these signs?
I feel like, to be honest, it's not, there's no signs, genuine signs that shows that that your partner is going to murder you. And I feel like, please, people should stop. I feel like, to me, before, I agreed with people when they said it was a crime of passion, but I no longer agree with that crime of passion, because it seems like for every crime that is committed, they try to hook it towards passion, like, oh, it's a crime of passion, like this murder. The alleged killer who was fished, they were trying to paint it like, oh, it was a crime of passion. He tried to force himself from date, this and that. No, they always like this so-called, they call it, oh, it's a crime of passion, lovers affair, felt bad, they want to, put something to it. These are not crimes of passion. Anybody who, in this case of Edwin, any lover who takes the life of the one that you claim to love has crossed a line in humanity, whether we like it or not. And this is not a crime of passion. This is just a crime of savagery. This is just a pure crime.
Well, let's talk about this murder. Sorry to cut you short. Let's talk about this murder.
Yeah,
was Edwin strangled? Was he stabbed? How was this murder executed?
The funny thing is, I seem that's the what's the word? I don't think I've gotten that information yet. But what I heard was that it was a neighbor. A neighbor heard like a shout from, I think, suspecting to be Edwin, made like a loud shout. Like she heard them arguing. They were busy arguing about something, and she heard a loud shout. Then only for him to find out that it was murder.
Just like the process of the murder determines the story, the backup story of what happened. For example, if they were having an argument and he was strangled, you could say, okay, this was an accident, it was based on the fight, this was out of self-defense. But in a situation where he just rampant, did he just lose it and just go kill his lover? So these are the background stories that needs to be uncovered. Because for me, I personally believe that before any murder happens, there are always red flags in a relationship. If you are married to somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody, the person beats you, he's more likely to kill you. You're in a relationship, they have punched your head, they've used your head to knock wall, that person is most likely to kill you. If you're in a relationship and you see that this person you're in a relationship treats other people who are below him as trash, treats the house helps, the domestic staff anyhow, yells at them, and you feel you're so special, he's not going to do that to you, that is the red flags. I see the red flags are always in a relationship, but most people tend to overlook this red flag because I'm in love. You are in love, that love may actually be a love of Romeo and Juliet, so you need to come out from that love. We need to use senses, we need to look around. This person we are in love with, this person we love, what is this person? Are we even truly in love with this person, or are we in love with the appearance of this person? Are we in love with the character of this person, or are we in love with the sexual pleasure we derive with this person? So determining why you are in love with someone will be the first way to go. Are you also compatible? Most people are in a relationship, they only love the sex, but everything else is not compatible. You don't think alike, you always disagree in every matter, you don't have the same purpose, you don't have the same goal. And it could also be in this situation that it could be maybe Edwin decided, I want to move on, I'm tired of this relationship. How is the way to move on from a relationship? We've seen so many American relationships, we've seen so many relationships that one person wants to move on, but out of jealousy, the other person shoots the other partner because they know they are going to lose so much from not having this relationship. Imagine you're in a relationship where you're being fed, you're in a relationship where you're being housed, you're in a relationship where you have financial benefit, and then your partner decides to move on. It means you're going to lose all of those benefits, and losing all of those benefits could make a person go nuts and do the unthinkable. Over to you, Mr. Chaffo. What do you have to say before we wrap it up for this news?
For me, finally, I would just say that Chimezi, for me, it's I think that they should start taking what's the word trial seriously. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I know that nothing will come out of this case. Nothing good comes out of any of the LGBTQI cases that have been proved. It ends up, what's the word, being swept under the carpet, and it ends up in the junkyard or into the dustbins of history. So I would not be surprised if nothing good comes out of this. But I think that they should start taking what's the word, cases like this very seriously, especially when it involves the lives of people. If a life is taken, then the person who takes that life should also get their life to take in. But it's not the case when it comes to issues like this. When it comes to LGBTQI issues, there are lots of yes, they say, I say, you say, and they try to once more paint everything as a crime of passion rather than looking at it for what it is, as a crime of savagery. So that's what I feel.
What about our activists who are shouting, say his name? We've been shouting, say his name for over 3 years.
Yeah, 2 years. You know that, to be honest, at this point, I don't think that we have activists again. What we have are people who just, what's the word, and condoms and more yearly reports, and that's all. That's all they do, and they collect what's the grants from guarantors and this. So I don't think we have activists. But what we can say is that the only thing that is still functional about anything activism is providing of PrEP, ART, ARV, condoms, and but when it comes to that thing, when it comes to activism, doing groundwork, pushing out what's the structures for LGBT community members, rolling out templates that work for us, and I feel like if me and any activists engage in a debate, will be defeated in what's the word, unanimously, because they know that when it comes to that kind of activism, providing advocacies and policies, it's next to zero. It's next to zero because you just hear them see things like it, hear them push for things like this and get justice. How many of the activists were even present in even pushing that, first of all, that guy that is alleged to have killed Dave, gets his day in court. He never pushed for it. He never had a court date. He never had a day in court. I heard that after a few days, he was released and nice. And I'm sure his maybe is even roaming the
You
street now.
mean in
Or
the
probably
murder
he
of
has gone
Dave?
on a low
In
key
this
till we
murder?
don't see him again. Which
Do you mean?
activist can say that?
Do you
Yeah,
mean yes,
yeah,
the
exactly.
killer of
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So they can't say any case that they've ever pushed or tried. I dare them to say one or two cases, especially major cases that had the word that we wanted to know that involved death or that were I agree to it. It's like, oh, what will happen in this case? They cannot say any case that they pushed that even ended up in court. At least if he ends up in court and you can't provide enough evidence to get struck at, but at least it's on record that you brought a battle, you try to get justice. But none of these activists can even say that they even was what gave a lawyer, that any lawyer tried to employ any lawyer to try to push for this case forward. So just activists when it comes to most of the world shouting, getting TV interviews, being interviewed, speaking. They enjoy the media, they enjoy the clouds. But when it comes to doing the work, you find them non-active, and you even find out that ordinary community members are the ones that go the extra step in making sure that we actually get justice, and sometimes not them. They justice in the comfort of their home, right on Instagram, right on Telegram, right on Facebook, right on whatever. And when the ordinary community members try to push or make their voices heard, they come and want to try to reap the glory of that voices that was, what's the word, that was pushed from all corners. They want to take the glory and take the starmanship of it. And it's just absolutely bonkers to me. So I think.
Final words for me. I think when it comes to activism, we haven't gotten activists that truly care about the people they are agitating for. We have activists who care about the profits they make, the benefits, and the name they have gotten from activism. This is a year where we need to get activists that care about the people they are agitating for. Because at this point in time, we are not supposed to be talking about homophobia. This crime is not the crime of homophobes. We as community members do more bizarre things than even homophobes. If you count the number of suicide, the number of people who have died out of depression, anxiety, it is caused by members of the LGBTQ community. The moment we begin to tell ourselves the truth, the better our community will become. We have also sexualized our community. Our community is so sexualized that nobody cares if you are sane or insane. All they care is about the size of your organs, the twerkiness and the smoothness of your behind. This is the time for us to begin to talk about structures. What are the structures in place for LGBTQI persons? What are the health structures? What are the security structures? What are the justice structures? Do we have even a legal person to take suit over this situation? Do we have an LGBT legal counsel? Who can we call? This is our time we begin to look professionally into building a legacy for the people behind, for our community. And again, Grindr, Tinder, or whatever we call them, are not our community. So where the hell is our community? When we say community, what do we call a community? Grindr or Adam for Adam? If that is our community, then we are nothing but jokers in the LGBTQ communities. We need to wake up. We need to sit up, unless we will bury each other one after the other. Peace out. And I remain Chimerize Henry Ahonaya.